Have you ever planted something good in your life, and then nothing happened? Maybe you loved someone sincerely, but only received silence in return. Maybe you worked hard for months, but the results never came. Or maybe, you tried to be better, but life just didn't seem to change. And then you asked yourself, was it worth it? But did you know, seeds don't sprout overnight? In today's video, I'm going to tell you a story about a farmer, a few seeds, and a Stoic lesson that could change your life. Don't walk away, because you might be right on the cusp of your seed blossoming. Topic Introduction. In our life journey, we have all planted seeds, dreams, efforts, love, faith, but then, many times, we are disappointed, because the results do not come as expected. We want to see immediate results. We want to know that our efforts are meaningful. And when we don't see anything, we easily give up. But what would happen if we learned a different way of living? An ancient way of living, from Greek and Roman philosophers, called Stoicism. This doctrine does not teach us to avoid pain, but teaches us to accept, persevere, and master ourselves in all circumstances. In today's video, you will hear a very simple story, but enough to deeply touch you. The story of the farmer and the seeds. A metaphor for life, for enduring faith, and for how Stoic wisdom can change you, starting with the smallest things. Before going into the fascinating details of the story, please subscribe to the Legacy of Thinkers channel to always accompany us. Main content: the farmer and the seeds. In a remote countryside, where there is more sunshine than rain, and the land is drier than people's hearts, there is a farmer who lives quietly on the edge of the forest. He is not rich, he has no power, he does not have good land or a large field like the others in the village. His only asset after a dry season is a small cloth bag, inside of which are only a few seeds. Old seeds. No one knows if they are alive or dead. And the villagers say, throw them away. Why bother planting them? But he does not throw them away. He looked at those tiny seeds as if they were the last promise that life had left him. One early morning, when it was still dark, he went to the field. The field was in bad shape, the soil was cracked. There were many rocks, and weeds were growing densely. But he did it anyway. He picked up each rock, dug each thin layer of soil, dug each small hole, and dropped each seed in. No one noticed, no one believed, even he himself didn't dare to hope. But there was one thing he believed in, that action was right. And what was right, should be done, regardless of the outcome. Every day, he returned to the field, not just to water it, but to maintain a connection between himself and the fragile faith that remained. The neighbors laughed when they saw this. This land can't even grow grass. What are you planting? Hope? He didn't answer. He just smiled, then continued to bend down to the ground, one hand holding the watering can, the other pulling out each blade of grass. The first week passed, nothing. The second week, still quiet. The sun was hotter. The wind blew dry. Other people started digging the soil elsewhere, or left to work for hire. He still returned to the old field. Some days he sat for a long time, not watering, not doing anything, just quietly looking down at the ground, where he had placed the seeds. Perhaps he was wondering, are they still alive? Or have I sown something hopeless? Then one day, when the first rain of the season had just stopped, he walked out to the field again. And he stopped. Right in the middle of the barren land of that year, was a young sprout. Small, green, rising from the ground. He rubbed his eyes. He couldn't believe it, but it was true. A sprout. Then he saw the second one. Then the third one. The seeds, things that were thought to be dead, that had been silent for days, suddenly came back to life. He didn't shout, didn't run to the village newspaper, didn't claim credit. He just stood there, silent. His eyes were red, his lips pursed, not because the sprouts had sprouted, but because he knew he hadn't given up. Every day he went to the field, not because he was sure it would bloom, but because, if something is worth starting, it's worth waiting for. And if a seed needs time to sprout, then a person, too, needs time to grow. That story isn't just about a farmer. It's about all of us. People who are sowing something in silence. A relationship that's trying to mend. An unfinished dream. A path that has not yet yielded results. And then ask yourself, am I wasting my efforts? Maybe you just need one more rain. Or one more day. Don't be so quick to uproot the seeds of your life, just because you don't see the sprouts yet. Because sometimes, miracles come late. But not too late. In-depth analysis of Stoic philosophy. The story of the farmer is not just a simple story about patience. It is a living metaphor for what Stoicism calls doing the right thing, regardless of the outcome. In the world of Stoic philosophers like Epictetus, Seneca or Marcus Aurelius, life is not measured by the results, but by the quality of how we live. The farmer, day after day, tended his barren field without seeing anything sprout. He was not sure if the seeds would survive. He was not sure if it would rain. He was not sure if he would get any harvest. But he did it anyway. Why? Because it was something he could control. Stoic philosophy teaches that there are two things in life. One is the things we can control, such as our own behavior, choices, attitudes. The second is the things we cannot control, such as results, praise, recognition from others, or the weather. Epictetus once said, "Happiness does not come from having things go our way. It comes from accepting things, however they go." The farmer does not live for results. He lives to keep his promises to himself. He chooses to sow seeds, to water them, to weed them, every day, even if no one praises him. No one believes him. That is the spirit of Stoicism. Being steadfast in your values, even in solitude. If you are on your own journey, learning, creating, loving, healing, and if you do not see results, no one notices, no one cheers. Remember this: true value lies in the action itself, not in the praise. Like the farmer, you don't need to see the sprouts every day to know that you are living right. And at some point, when what you sow begins to sprout, you will understand. There is no such thing as a wasted moment. Seneca once wrote, "We do not lack time. We are just wasting it on meaningless things." The farmer in the story used each day to do something meaningful, even though he did not see the results. And because of that, he did not waste his life. Marcus Aurelius, the famous Stoic emperor, once said, "Do not wait for the future. Do not live with blind hope. Live today, as if it were the only thing you have. Act without clinging to the results. Sow the seeds without expecting the flowers to bloom at the right time." That is the way to live that helps us to be free from disappointment and at peace in every step. Maybe you are writing a book that no one has read, nurturing a child that hasn't worked, maintaining a relationship that hasn't worked. But if it's the right thing to do, keep going. Because you can't command the seed to grow. You can only tend your soil, every day, with all your heart. Patience, and silence, and sometimes, that's all it takes to change yourself, before any results come. In a world where everything is fast, from text messages answered in seconds, to deliveries within hours, to the expectation of success after just a few days of trying, we are losing our patience. We want immediate results. We want recognition as soon as we start. We want to see the seed sprout as soon as we plant the seed. And if we don't see it, we give up. But the truth is, nothing lasting comes quickly. The tallest tree grows silently for years before it reaches the sky. And what about you? Maybe you are starting a personal project, a new idea, a healthy habit, but after a few weeks, you see no change, no one cares, no one encourages you. You start to wonder, is it worth it? Am I wasting my time? Then you see someone else become famous overnight. Someone else succeeds brilliantly after a month of studying. And you are self-conscious, doubting yourself. But you don't know, maybe that person has been hiding for many years. Just like a seed in the ground, it only sprouts when it is deep enough. With enough time. In the modern world, we often only see the results of others, but not their process. So we easily forget. Today's silence does not mean meaningless. Like the farmer, he doesn't need to see the sprouts every day to know he's on the right track. He just needs to believe in what he's doing, and do it consistently. And you may be sowing something very important. A good habit that no one has seen. A quiet kindness that no one has noticed. A dream that no one believes in. But if you persevere, if you keep watering every day, the sprout inside you will eventually sprout, not because of luck, but because you didn't give up when it wasn't there yet. So, be gentle with yourself. In a world that demands you to be fast, to stand out, to win, just be the one who sows the seeds quietly. Lessons learned. Seeds don't sprout the moment you plant them. Like all good things in life, it takes time. It takes quiet. It takes you not to give up. That farmer was no different than anyone else. He was just different in one way. He didn't give up until he saw results. And that was the spirit of perseverance. Discipline. Do the right thing. No matter the outcome. You can't control when the seed sprouts. But you can choose to keep watering it every day. You can't force life to respond to your efforts immediately. But you can choose not to betray yourself by standing firm in what you believe is right. So if you're doing something today and you don't see any seeds appearing, don't back out. Keep going. One more day. One more step. Because sometimes, what you sow is sprouting under the soil, silently. Slowly, but never stopping. And if you find this story touching, don't forget to subscribe to Legacy of Thinkers. We will continue to share with you the seeds of ancient wisdom, profound life lessons, so that each day, you take a step further on your journey as a human being. Sow, and never give up. The seed is waiting for you below the ground, and the light is always waiting above.